Welcome to another episode in this Unity 3D beginner series. So this is episode 2 and let's keep working on this game by making the player glow, by adding audio and making the level procedural so we can keep playing forever. So let's get started. So first let's make the player glow, so let's open up the materials and here we have the player material, so click on that. Then over here at emission we'll enable this, then click here and make it red. Then I click plus right here, so now it's shining more and you can keep doing this if you want, but this is way too much I think. So I think this is fine, just a +2 in intensity. And yeah, that looks way better than before. Let's go back to assets and let's now add audio. So when our score goes up, we will add a little bop sound. And when we hit an obstacle and need to restart the game, that will also play a sound. So first we actually need some sounds. So I've created this GitHub repository and there'll be a link for this in the description. And if I just open up this SFX folder right here, we have a hit SFX and a pop sound effect. And if I now go back, I can click on code and I can click on download zip. You can of course also use your own ones if you want. Now it's downloaded right here, so I'll right click on it. I'll go to unpack all, I'll choose unpack. Now I have it right here, so open that up and we have the SFX. So just drag this into the scene right here, onto assets. So now we have it right here, open that up. And as you can see, we have two sounds. We can play them over here and this one. So this pop sound will play when the score goes up. So let's make that happen. So first we need an audio manager to do that. And to do that, we'll go to assets and go to scripts and we'll create a new script called audio manager. So I'll right click, go to create and do a mono behavior script, which I'm gonna call audio manager. So now we have another script, open that up. In here, what we'll do is delete the update and start function. And then at the top, we'll add a public static audio manager. So this same class as we have right here, and we will call it instance. And we make this static, so it's very easy to access from any script. We will then add an awake function where we will set this instance to be equal to this. So from any other script, we'll be able to access this instance. And because the instance is equal to this, it will be very easy to access. But what we'll then do is add a public void called play SFX to play our sound effect. And then we'll do audio clip, comma, float volume, which will be set to 1 as a default. So later from any other script, when we want to play a sound effect, we will just do audio manager.instance.playsfx and input the clip we want to play. But in here, we'll then do start coroutine, where we will input play SFX coroutine, where we will then input the clip, comma, the volume. And now we actually want to create this coroutine. So down here, we'll do IEnumerator, which is a coroutine, and call it the same as we did right here. So play SFX coroutine, where we will also have the audio clip and the volume, like that. And then in here we can do audio source, call it audio source, equals GameObject.add component audio source. So now we've added an audio source to this game object, and then we can do audio source.clip equals clip, and audio source.volume equals volume, and then we can do audio source.play. So we play the actual clip. Then we need to wait till the clip is done playing before we can destroy the audio source again. So we'll do yield, return, new, wait 4 seconds. And in here we'll just input audio source.clip.length. And I'll times this with 2 just to make sure that we're done playing the clip. And then we'll do destroy audio source. And that's all for our audio manager. So now let's go to the player movement script right here and scroll all the way to the top, where we will add a public audio clip called score audio clip. And that will be the pop sound effect. And then we'll also add the public audio clip called die audio clip. So that's when we basically hit an obstacle. And this one score audio clip, let's copy that one and go down to the on trigger right here where we add some score. Above this, we'll do audio manager.instance.play SFX, where we can input this clip. And that's what's smart using the instance, as we did right here, is that we can easily access it in here like that. Then we also need to play a sound effect when we hit an obstacle, so when we die. So let's do that here. So we'll copy this and add it here, but instead we'll do die audio clip. But we have a problem right now, because right after we've done this, we instantly load the scene. So this will actually stop the audio from playing. So we need to wait until our clip is done playing before we do this. So I'll actually copy all of this, and then I'll go down here and add a private void called restart game, where I'll input this. And then up here, I'll do invoke, where I'll take this restart game and I'll input it as a string like this with these. And then I'll do comma, audio clip, comma, die audio clip.length, so it will now wait until it's done playing before it restarts the game. Now let's head back into Unity, and in here I'll click on the player and scroll down, and we need to set the 2 audio clips, so let's just go to Assets and open up SFX, click on the player again, scroll down and drag the hit SFX onto the die audio clip and the pop sound effect onto the score audio clip. Then we also need to add the audio manager, so I'll just scroll down and add it on the player. So I'll click on add component and do audio manager. So now that is added and that's all good. So let's now hit play. Yep, it all works. Now let's work on making this level procedural so it keeps going forever, because right now we've just created this and it ends all the way over here already, so that's not good. So let's fix that. So what I'll actually do is keep this first part of the level, maybe a bit less, so let's delete these last ones. So I'll delete this one, I'll delete this one, I'll delete this one, and this one, this one, this one. And I'll only keep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. So this first part will not be procedural, but right after it will be procedural forever. So first I need to make this ground way longer if it has to be procedural and go forever. So I'll first take all of these obstacles and drag them out. Then I'll click on the ground and put 2 more zeros so it's 100,000. Then I'll drag all of the obstacles onto the ground again. And if I hadn't taken them off, they would also have scaled, so that wouldn't have been good. Then I'll also click on the fall and do the same, so add 2 zeros. And now it basically keeps going forever. Then what I'll do now is go over to the player here, and I'll right click on it and create an empty game object called obstacle spawner. And then I'll just move it forward like this. So I'll move it all the way past the last of all of the obstacles right here. So something like that. Perfect. And this is where the obstacles will spawn, so a good bit in front of the player. And what we'll now do is go to Assets and go to Scripts and create the script which spawns these obstacles. So I'll right click, go to Create and do a mono behavior script, which I'm gonna call obstacle spawner. And before I open this up, I just need to see how far the obstacles can go from each side. So if I have this obstacle right here at 0C, and I just drag it out here, and then I drag it all the way over here, I can see it can go to about minus 3.5. And the same in this direction, it should be, yeah, 3.5. So perfect, I'll just add this to the ground again and set it to 0, like that. So now we can open up the obstacle spawner, and let's delete the comments right here. And then at the top, we will add a public game object called obstacle. So this will be our obstacle prefab. Then we'll also have a public float called minimum spawn time, and we'll have a public float called max spawn time. So it will basically be a value in between of these, a random one. And then we also need a public float called max spawn offset, and we don't need a minimum one because we're just gonna do minus or plus. Then lastly, we'll need a private float called last spawn time to keep track of when we spawned the last one. And we don't need the start function. This will simply be equal to 0 in the beginning. So now in our update function, we can basically do if last spawn time is less than time.time, and we also need to plus a random spawn time value right here, which we will calculate. And I'll just set it up here, so this will be a private float called random spawn time, which will also be 0 in the beginning. So random spawn time will be set in here to be equal to random.range, which will be random between the minimum spawn time, comma, the maximum spawn time, like that. And then in here we can also instantiate our obstacle, and we need the position of this, so we will do a new vector3, where we will do transform.position of this obstacle spawner object .x, comma, transform.position.y, comma, random.range, which will be between the minus max spawn offset, comma, the max spawn offset. And then we also need quaternion.identity for the rotation. Then after that we can do last spawn time equals time.time. And oops, I mixed these around. It actually needs to be something like this instead. So last spawn time plus the random spawn time should be less than time.time. And this should be it for the obstacle spawner. So let's head back into Unity and click on our obstacle spawner right here and drag the obstacle spawner script onto here. And for the obstacle right here, I'll click there. I'll click on assets and I'll choose our obstacle. For the minimum spawn time, I'll do 1 second and maximum will be 2.5. And the max spawn offset we found out earlier was 3.5. So let's now try to hit play. And as you can see over here, we have a clone and they spawn slowly. But the first one spawns up here because the player is higher at that point. But it keeps going forever, so it seems to be working fine. But we just need to wait at the beginning. but we just want to wait in the beginning for a little bit. So what we'll do is just set last spawn time to 1.5 in the beginning, so it will wait 1.5 seconds. And also we'll take the obstacle spawner and put it a bit closer, so right here next to the last of the obstacles. And let's now hit play. And yep, it seems to be working pretty well. But right now you can see there keeps coming more clones, and that's not good because at some point the game will begin to lag. So let's stop the game. So basically when we've passed these obstacles, they need to disappear. So let's go into our code and go to the player movement script in here. So what we'll do right here after we've passed through the obstacles through the trigger, we can do destroy other.gameObject, so basically the one we passed through, and then we'll do comma 2f, so after 2 seconds when it's out of the camera view. So let's head back into Unity and hit play. And now you should be able to see that these disappear after 2 seconds. And yep, they slowly disappear. So there's never too many in the scene at once. And we can keep playing forever. But it's way too easy right now, so let's slowly make it harder. So let's increase this speed very slowly, like very, very slowly. So right under here we'll just do speed plus equals time.delta time times 0.05f. And you can of course play with this value if you want to. And let's hit play now and see that the player slowly gets faster and faster. You can see that the speed slowly goes up. So let's just keep playing, and I'll set it to a large screen, and I'll just keep playing until I can't. Oh, I died. So I hope you liked the second episode of this beginner 3D tutorial. If you have more stuff that you would like me to add, then please let me know in the comments. And also check out my school community in the link in the description. You will definitely like it. In there I go into a lot more detail in my courses. You'll also be part of community in there, and you will get direct access to me so you can ask me any question. So check it out in the link in the description, and yeah, have an amazing day.